morning, everyone. It is Tammy, and I'm going to do a cute Dragonfly card. At least I think it's going to be cute. And one of my subscribers, thank you very much, asked for a Dragonfly card, and she even said, or a lightning bug card, so I think I'm going to be up for the challenge and do both. Not in this video, but this one's going to be the Dragonfly video. So thank you very much for asking, for challenging me to something different, and I really appreciate it. And I think the card base for this one is going to be this green, and I'm going to use this Dragonfly and Families stamp set that I got from Close to My Heart. Looks like, oh nope, I was going to say 2004, but that's not right. I'm not sure when I got this, but there is a really cute dragonfly, and that was the inspiration for this, other than the challenge, of course. So I wanted to do some sort of different kind of a fold or something, and I found this creative fold that I thought was kind of cool, and I just saw the card, so I wasn't exactly sure how to do it. So I started one to see if I could replicate it, and then I would show you the rest on camera. But you know, I kind of am learning as we go along with some of these. So I have both of these cards, and they are cut. It's just an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I cut it in half lengthwise, so I cut it at 4 1/4. So this is 4 1/4, and then I made this 5 1/4. Because I thought that, oh no, I didn't. Well, goodness gracious, Tammy dingbat. I was going to do 5 1/4. I did it at 5 3/4, so I'm going to need to cut some of that off anyway. And it doesn't quite reach, and that would be why, wouldn't it? But I'm just going to deal with it, and then I will do this one, and I will fold this one over in such a way that it reaches the other side. And we're just going to try to make this really cute, and I'm going to try to not go as slowly as I have been on some of my other cards. So I'm going to fold this, well here, I want this to fold, I'm going to say at 5 inches, just to make sure that I have enough. And then I'm going to see, because I want it to kind of crisscross all the way over, and so it's about 1/4 of an inch too long, so I'm going to cut off, and I'm also going to cut off a little bit of this. So hold on a second. If I cut off a little bit of this, and fold this one down, that matches perfectly. So if this one matched perfectly too, I would need to cut it to here. So that is about a 1/2 inch. Okay, so my dimensions, I will tell you what they are. They are, well, that's a good question. I don't know what they are. Hold on, let me finish what I was doing, because then I will be able to tell you better. Because I'm going to put this on a card base. So I guess it doesn't really matter what these are, as long as you have them so that they crisscross. And I need this one to crisscross from here to here. So I'm just putting this in here from one side of the point to the fold at the top, so that it matches perfectly. And then you just cut this part off, and you can use that as scrap or trash it or whatever. And then these two halves will come together, and will make a cool kind of envelope looking card. And you could even seal this and make it look like a baby diaper or something like that, because it does kind of, and then pull the card out this way. But I'm going to make this the actual card. So let me, I think I'll give you the dimensions here in a minute after I cut my piece of white card stuff. So I need this one to be, well, goodness, I'm sorry, I'm like confusing myself. Because I will just put this on a base, won't I? And then I can use the rest to line the card. Okay, so I need my base to be 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So however you want to cut your base piece. 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So then I'll go to 5 1/2 and I will score it here. Actually, no, I'm going to cut it because I just need a base. Woo-wee. I'm getting myself confused. Like I said, we're doing this together, but folks, this is real, and we are getting there. So this is going to be the base, and I'm going to put both of these down on the base, and I could either like cut this down so it's like a smaller size and you can see the base all the way around, or I can leave it so that this looks like it's the base and then just cut an inside, which is what I think I'm going to do. So, and that piece looks kind of crummy, so I'm going to put him in the back and him in the front. So I'm going to do something like this. And then I will put a piece of white cardstock on the inside. So first I'm going to glue these bad boys down. And I'm just going to use my ATG gun. And I have my air conditioning going in my scrapbook room because I have central air, but this scrapbook room is over the garage and it gets so hot, and I really don't know why. And so I have a small little window unit in here because otherwise I get mean, hot, and ugly, and that's not a pretty sight for anybody. Because I say I'm already mean and ugly. I don't want to be mean, hot, and ugly because that's drawing the line. Okay, so now we will put this on top of here. So that's why I said it doesn't really matter how long these are, as long as you get it so that you have what you need. And I think that's fine. So as long as you make it, so I cut my card in half, and you're using all of the 8.5 by 11 except for these little triangles of it. And you're scoring it so that you have little points at each end, and then it's just kind of a fun fold card. It's not, you know, you're not saving card for sure. This is not a frugal card. This is because you're doubling up and tripling up on some parts. So now I'm going to cut out some white to match all of these areas. As I'm drinking my coffee, of course. And I have some Snoopy stamps out from something I was doing earlier, so I'm going to move those. My crafting area is getting smaller and smaller with all of these fun purchases I am getting. And oh no, my little pins are falling out. I should probably just take these out of the bag, because how many times have they fallen out? 6,000? But who's counting, right? Okay, so I'm going to take my extra white, and I know that this is 5.5 by 4.25. Whoops, and this, that's not my extra white, this is. So I'm going to cut this at 5.5. No, I'm not. I'm going to cut it at 5.25. And then I'm going to do 4 inches on this side, so that this can be our card base in the middle here. And I think I'll cut them all and then I'll glue them all. So yeah, that fits perfect. Now these, I'm not exactly sure what size I need, so what I'm going to do is measure this, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5-ish. So I will cut this at 5.5-ish. I'm wondering if I cut it this way, if I'd be able to get 2 out of him. I don't know, but we'll give it a whirl. And I'm thinking, do I need it 5.5? I really don't, but that's okay, because I'm going to need to do this. So what I'm going to do, just to make it easy on myself, I am just going to put this about where I want it, because I don't want it to be totally in line. And I'm going to just mark it with a pencil. So my point is here, but I'm going to want my point about here. And I'm going to want to cut it about here. So I'm going to line these 2 lines up and cut this little triangle off. So there's a line, and where's my line over here? Oh, there it is. So let's see, there's a line, and there's the line. So I will hold this in place, and I will just zoop. And now I can either put these on the inside or on the outside, however you'd like to do it, or you can do one of each, which is maybe what I'll do. I don't know yet. Let's see. I think I'm going to, where's my stamp set? I think I'm going to put these little green leaf things just kind of all over. So I think I'm going to leave it green on the outside. So I think I'll put this white on the inside, or you wouldn't even have to do this. This is just kind of an added step that is probably not necessary, but whatever. I already started it, so I'm just going to do it. I'm going with it. So now I'll do the same thing with this side, and I'm wondering if I can cut it out of the same strip. This is where my frugality comes in. Okay, so what do I do with my pencil? Oh, goodness me. Oh, here it is. Okay. So if I went straight down here and over here, I think I would be all right. So now that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go just line this up straight. And maybe I'll line this way up straight. It has more of a base. And put this bad boy in here. And it works out just fine and dandy. Just like it was made for it. So now I'm going to glue down these 3 parts. And glue it down. And glue it down. And did you see that? I was like making sure that I had it on the right triangle way before I glued it, because Lord knows I would probably just glue it and then realize that I had it upside down or some way wrong. Okay, so there's our base card, which is pretty cute. Now I'm going to stamp on these, and then I'm going to make a little something with the dragonfly on it in there, and then I should have done around there, so I might see if I can still do that with maybe some Tim Holtz ink, because I'm really liking this Tim Holtz ink that I got. So let me get a couple punches. I'd like to get some bigger ones, but right now I just have this 1 1/4 punch, and I don't know what size this is. I'm gonna guess it's 1 3/4 or maybe 2 inches, but it does fit nicely around that. So I'm going to take out one of these scraps of green that I had, and I'm going to cut out or punch out the little flowery part, and then I'm going to take one of the white parts that I had, and I'm going to cut out the circle. So now I'm going to put the dragonfly on this circle. I'm going to have to put the dragonfly somewhere else too, because this is pretty small. But I do want the dragonfly to be the focal point, so I'm going to stick him on here. That way when you open this, but I'm going to open it the other way. That way when you open it, the dragonfly will come with, and maybe I'll put some interesting something inside. So cool. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started with doing kind of a background on here. Oh, that's right, that's white on the back. I'm like, what is that? Ding bat. I guess I could have used green on the back, but then I would have made me have to use another piece of green paper, and you all know how I feel about that. So, okay, time for some coffee. And some ink. I wonder, I don't even know what color this is. It feels like Stampin' Up! Cardstock, so I'm wondering if it isn't like Old Olive or something, but I don't have that color. Well, I might have that color, but I'm not going to look for it, because you know I spend way too much time doing that. I need to organize my ink better. But this looks kind of close, and it's called Mowed Lawn, and it's just going to be one I use. Yeah, this dragonfly isn't going to fit on there. Wah. Wish I had a bigger circle punch. And I have my Cricut and my silhouette, so I could make it if I really wanted to. Ooh, and this, whatever it's called, block has seen better days, for sure. It's a close to my heart block, so it wasn't a cheap one, but it certainly... Okay, let me stamp this off and see how green that is, and then maybe I'll stamp it on. Because I just kind of want it to be muted. And I'm going to take a piece of scrap and put it here so I can stamp off. Oh, and I just didn't do that, did I? Oh, lordy. I'm sure this would be easier if I had a larger ink pad, and I'm sure I have a green ink pad that would have worked fine if it was bigger, but I wanted to use my Tim Holtz because I like it. Okay, I think that's good. And then I will do the same thing to this side. I'm just kind of making an interesting background of some pretty leaves. And these are just going to stay muted. I'm not going to color them or anything. I'm kind of excited about trying the dragonfly because I have yellow in my head, obviously, for his little light, and then I don't know if I want to do glitter or if I want to do like oh, what's it called, the glossy accents, or heck, maybe I'll do both. Alright, I think that's good. So let's see how this looks. I want to fold this one in first. There we go. I think that's cute. And then I'm still going to try to mush around here, see if I can do that at all. And I'm just trying to just outline the white. Would have been better had I done it prior to putting it down, but this just gives it a little bit of interest, I think. I don't know why I love this flicky technique. And I may as well do it on these as well, huh? It kind of takes the starkness out of the white too, I think. Sometimes against color it's too much. And I should have maybe looked at my designer cards paper and see what I had as far as that goes to put on these edges instead of white. And I might still do that and just put another piece down. Because I am not being frugal with this card at all, am I? Look at me go. Sometimes it's just about the craft. And I like to be frugal, but I like to have fun. So, I mean, it's not like I don't want to use my stuff. Most of the time. Sometimes I don't want to. I'm laughing at myself. Okay, I like that better than it was before. And let me clean this ink off of the stamp. And I haven't used this yet today. It's still kind of wet from yesterday. I think we might be okay. That just rhymed. Look at me, I'm a poet. this back. And Mr. Dragonfly. I know that dragonflies are kind of iridescent, but I don't really know what color they are. So I'm going to put a dragonfly, whoops, on this thing. And I think I'm going to use some black. And I didn't really realize how big he was. So let's just try to get as much of him as I can in here, so that we can still tell he's a dragonfly. And then I'm also going to stamp him somewhere else. So let's see, where else should I stamp him? If I had a dragonfly here, I might stamp one over here and one on the inside of the card. So one over here. And I'm wondering if I shouldn't put him on a white cardstock and then cut him out. And I'm going to do two just in case. And then I'm going to do one here on the inside. So I guess I won't do designer card series because that would take away this effect, but I'll put him here, and then maybe I'll put a little flower or something over there, but I think that's enough. Dragonflies, there's 3. So let me see what else I have in this set. There's a little ladybug and a bee, but I don't really use any more animals. But there's a pack of 3 little flowers that are cute. I think I'll use those on the other side. And I'm going to stamp these on this in black to see if I like that, or and then I could color that in, or do I want to just color in a color? And if I want to do a color, what color am I going to do? It needs to match the green a little bit, but it also needs to match the dragonfly. I'm just going to go for the black because I really don't know what color yet. I need to color the dragonfly first. So this is how this is looking so far. And there'll be a dragonfly over here and a dragonfly here. And I don't think I'm going to put any flowers on the front. I think I'm just going to leave it just like that. Sometimes less is best. So that ugly stamp block almost has seen better days. Let's put these back. I thought for a second that was a lightning bug, and I was going to say, oh my goodness, I could use this set for the whole thing, but no, I couldn't. Okay, and I'm not going to put him down yet until after I've colored all of these little guys. So, where are my guys? Oh, there they are. Whoo-wee. Alright, you know what? It might be cool to color them in these things. And I am just going to take them out of the bag because I really don't necessarily need to know what set they're from. And because they always fall out of these bags anyway, then I'm going to have to find somewhere to put them, and I'll put them in my other markers, I guess. Although these are special. Oops, I keep putting them in the wrong way. These are special markers because they make it sparkly, and I like sparkly. Okay, I think I'm going to make the base of him green just to go with the whole card thing. And I need to be coloring him too. Okay. So let's, this is kind of a fluorescent green. It's not exactly the color I was wanting. I might go over it with the other green and let's see how this looks. Oh, now this one is very green, so and these, I think I've told you, are kind of like paint pens. So if you go over like a really dark area, you're gonna cover it up. So you kind of need, I just like to kind of like dot the color in. Unless you get to a larger spot like his body here, I can color like I'm coloring, but then like his tail, I'm dotting it in because I want to see the separation between the lines, and if I were just to color straight, I would cover all of those up. But I do like the shimmery glow that it gives. It's kind of subtle sparkle, which is kind of what I think about when I see a dragonfly. Now I think for his little wings I'm going to use a light blue, maybe these peacock feathers, with an aqua pen, because I want just a hint of blue. So let's see how that looks. Well, that's too blue, so I'm just coloring a little bit there until I get it to be about the color I want, and then I might just go over this with some Wink of Stella. And I'm starting at the base because I think that that would have the most color. So I start at the base of the wing and then go out with pushing the color away from him. Because it just has to have a hint of color. And I don't know if you can see that sparkle in the body, but that's really pretty cool. I don't know what color dragonflies are, but I really kind of like that green color. I think they're kind of iridescent, but I don't know how to do that. And I may just go ahead and make these flowers kind of blue as well, and maybe I'll go over it with a hint of purple. And you know what, I think I might go over the body with some little bit of purple too. And I'm going to go for this Seedless Preserves and see how this looks. Because I kind of am picturing in my head a little bit of purple on dragonflies. And this just kind of covered it all the way, so, and that's okay. I kind of like the purple better. I kind of a little bit did that on purpose. I didn't color the middle of that on purpose, but that's okay because I'll just color over it with one of these little pens. So that's kind of pretty. And let's see, I'm going to take, I think I'm going to do orange in the middle of that purple. I'm just going to go for it. Orange isn't a color I'd usually pick, but that's why I'm picking it. I'm wondering if I should add some sort of color. Some more color to the dragonfly. I liked that purple idea. I think I did a good thing thinking about the purple, but it didn't quite show up quite as vibrant as I want, and I don't see a purple in my thing. Oh, and I'm forgetting to color these guys. Oops. So I need to color the flowers in with purple. If I can get the ink out. then I need to give them a orange center. And then I'm going to color this Dragonfly green. And pretty sure I used peacock feathers for their wings. Perfect, perfect. And then I went and did a little bit of this purple on his body, which didn't really show much, but okay, so now I'm back to deciding if he needs any more color or if I'm good with that. And he's actually pretty cute. I think I might be good with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut, and if I feel like I need more color, I can add it later. I'm just going to stick these here for now. I thought they were rolling before. They're really going to roll now, aren't they? Okay, so cut out the dragonflies. And I'll leave just a little bit of a border. And I know I've said this before, but if you guys are new to my channel or whatever, if you want to watch how I'm cutting, I think it makes it a lot easier and goes a lot faster if you move the paper and not the scissors. So pretty much I hold my scissors in one spot, and then I use my hand to turn the paper. So that's what cuts the image, or that's how I cut the image. I will move my scissors just a hair every once in a while, but for the most part, it's the paper that's moving. And this just makes a quicker, more efficient cut as far as I'm concerned. And I know that other people have said that as well. So give it a whirl and see what you think. Of course, whatever works best for you is what's best for you. You don't have to do what anybody else does. Whoops, I almost dropped my dragonfly. Drop my dragonfly. I'm going to cut all this excess off, and I'm going to cut this flower off. There's some scrap I can use. And I'll do the same with the flower. I'm kind of a little bit closer on the flower than I did with the dragonfly. I don't know exactly why. And I may pop dot this. I don't know if any of you saw my 10 cards in 20 minutes. That really was 35 minutes. I'm trying to find another card that I could use for that. And so every time I make a card, I think, oh, could I do this? But no, clearly this would not be a card that I would want to try to make in bulk quickly, because this card would take way too long. It would be like 20 cards or 10 cards in 5 hours. I can do it. I just had an idea. I wonder if this will work. I'm going to try it in just a minute. I think one thing about making cards or just being creative in general, I think the more you do it, the more creative you become. I mean, the more ideas just kind of start coming in your head and you're going, wow, where did I think of that? Like, I have to say, the ocean that I did with the gel and put blue in there, that was one of my better ideas. I was very pleased with that idea. Now I'm going to pop dot this circle with the dragonfly up. I have these little baby pop dots. I don't even know where I got them, but I used to use a lot of pop dots, but I have seen other people where they don't use as many, and maybe that's better for my budget. I mean, I guess, see, normally I would put at least 3 on here, but I just put 2 on there, and it seems to be alright. Now, this is what I was wondering. I wonder if I put another little dragonfly on top of this, like raised, if that would be cute. And I think it would be. So fold those down. I'm going to put a dragonfly here, I know, and I really like the idea of having the wings stick up. So I don't know how to make this stay. The only thing I can think of is if I put it underneath that a little bit. I certainly don't want him straight. I'll have him flying this way. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue or adhesive right here. To hold my little, this guy. I don't really like where I did put that. I'm going to move it down a little bit because I want it to be more centered, so I like that better. I just kind of want it to stay down, and it's not staying down. Maybe it just will take some time, and it will. Yeah, that's better. Okay, and I'm going to put, I was going to say maybe I need to put more weight on here, but that little piece of paper isn't going to make it any better. And I was, oh no, I can use this out here. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so now with this one, I am just going to put some glue in the middle. And let's see what kind of, I think I'll use a glue dot because I like those. But you could use like a strip of glue or whatever you have. But I'm just going to put a glue dot here. And then I'm also going to put, I think I'm going to use several of these. I'm going to make it so that it's like folded onto itself and put it here so it can hold it lengthwise. I'm just trying to make it a little longer because I don't want it to show through on the sides of his little dragonfly tail. So that glue dots are on his tail and you can't see them. If I had left them big, it would be sticky on this side too. And then I'm just going to take my little bone folder and kind of make the fibers know that they can go up. I'm just rubbing my bone folder against my thumb against the paper so that they know that they can fly up like that. Very cute, very, very cute. And I think I am going to put him here using the same glue dot technique and just make him stick off the card a little bit and pull his little things up. And I'm going to pull his things up first so you can kind of see how I'm doing it. But I just take the bone folder and kind of go across my finger or my thumb to kind of make those fibers loosen up a little bit and know that, hey man, it's okay if I'm flying away. Ooh, I almost hurt my elbow. I'm just trying to straighten my arm. Oops. And then do the same thing with these little guys. That one didn't quite fold as much as I want it to, so I'm just trying to get it to fold again. And then stick him on here lengthwise. Okay, and then I'm going to put him right down on top of this guy. Oh, and I guess I probably didn't even need this last one, so I just picked him off, but I'm going to put him down here on this, if I can. My fingernail's in the way, so that he's attached at the very bottom and hopefully doesn't get like pulled up. There we go. That's a very cute, very cute. And I'll put my little flowers over here, and I don't think I'm going to dimension them up. I think I'm just going to use some tape and put him down. Sometimes on these little baby areas I like to use just a snail adhesive, but I didn't have any handy that I could see anyway. I probably do, but I don't know where. Okay, so here is the Dragonfly card. I think that we are complete. Yes, that is cute. Okay, if I say so myself. So thank you very much for challenging me, but I think that I really like the challenge because I think this card is really cute. I'm not sure who I'm going to send it to yet, but I just really like it. And thank you very much for the challenge, and I hope you like it too, and I hope you like, you know, a fun, different kind of a fold. I'm going to try to do a little more creative folds in some of my upcoming videos, and maybe some just, I don't know, fun, I don't know, just try to add some fun to it, because I seem like sometimes I'm doing the same thing. And speaking of fun, I didn't add any Wink of Stella, and I need to do that, don't I? And I said I was going to do it to their little iridescent wings, and I even failed at that until now. But don't you worry, we're getting it in there, aren't we? I love that stuff. And this is kind of what the body or the other ink stuff has. They're made by the same company. So instead of being clear Wink of Stella, you can think of it as colored Wink of Stella. So that's why I love them so very much. Okay, so again, thank you very much, and hope you liked it. I'll see you later.